Okay, and we're going to be doing the Unit 3 Fractions Part 1 review. If you're a Carlton kid, if you're a Dudley kid, I call this the Chapter 5 review. Parts 1 and 2. And I call it the Carlton review. Same thing, different chapter. I go by chapters, she goes by units. All right, let's get going here. Make this just a touch bigger if I can. Guess not. Let me see what I can do here. There we go. Sharpen it up a little bit. Write these as improper fractions. We can do that. Well, 4 times 5 is 20. Add the top. We have 23 fifths for that one there. If you want to double check it, you can just go 23 divided by 5. It goes in there 4 times, and there's 3 left. 33 fifths. Well, we can just do that as going 33 divided by 5, because that's what it is. Well, we can put that in there. 6 times 5 is 30. If we subtract that out, we got 3 left over. So it's 6 3 fifths. 6 3 fifths. Yeah, I divide going down the side there for you Carlton kids. This is a great division method for this type of thing, especially if you struggle a little bit with multiplication and division. It's more of a repeated subtraction method. It does not work for decimals. All right. But, you know what? We're not multiplying. We're not dividing decimals right now. So, in the short term, this is the way to go. All right. Estimating sums and differences. Well, we're going to go to the 0, half, or whole if it's a fraction. We're round to the nearest whole number if it is a mixed number. So we have 1/8. Is that closer to 0, half, or whole? That's closer to 0. 11 twelfths. That's almost a whole. So that's 0 plus 1, which is 1. 5 6/13. Is it closer to 5 or 6? Well, it's less than a half, so we're going to call the 6/13 is less than a half, so we're going to call that 5. And 1/5, that's really not much. We're just going to call that 0. It's really closer to 0. So 5 minus 0 is 5. There's my estimate. 2 3/8, is it closer to 2 or 3? Well, it's less than a half, so we're just going to call it 2. And 11 24ths, it's almost exactly a half, so we'll call that a half. 2 plus a half, equals 2 1/2. All right, we have same thing, but now we're doing it with multiplication and division. We're generating products and quotients. This is a division symbol in case you can't see it. So 9 1/3, is it closer to 9 or 10? It's closer to 9. Divided by 2 3/4. Well, 2 3/4 is more than a half. The 3/4 is, so it's closer to 3. So 9 divided by 3 is just simply 3. 5 6/7. Well, that's closer to 6. 3 1/4. It's closer to 3. So 6 times 3 is 18. 21 1/2 divided by 6 5/6. Well, it's a half or more. I usually round up. So we have 22 divided by 6 5/6 is 22 divided by 7. Well, we don't have a basic fact that is 22 divided by 7 that I can just pull out of the air. So I'm going to make this, just use a comparable number, which would be 21 divided by 7, or compatible number. And 21 divided by 7 is 3. And I think that's a very reasonable estimate. This last one, 21 times 1/9. So 21, well, that is 21 times, 1/9 is really closer to 0. So 21 times 0 is 0. Now, does that mean that 21 times 1/9 is 0? No. It just means that my answer in this case is going to be very, very small. All right, the last 2 things here on this first page we'll do. We have to multiply these fractions without a calculator. So we have 1/12 times 4/7. Well, look diagonally. You can divide by 4 here. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 12 divided by 4 is 3. And so now I can just multiply straight across. 1 times 1 is 1. 3 times 7 is 21. Here we go. 1 and done. 2/3.
Walter, to the office, please.
Look diagonally. Yeah, I can divide here by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 21 divided by 3 is 7. I can also divide going this way by 2 is a common factor. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 24 divided by 2 is 12. So now when I multiply across, I've made my answer much easier. 1 times 7 is 7. 1 times 12 is 12. They don't share any common factors, so 7/12 is my answer. Okie dokie then. All right, we've got a cupcake recipe that calls for 3/4 of a cup of butter. Well, that pen ain't going to work. What do we got here? Go for the OBG. 3/4 of a cup of butter. And Rob wants to make 1/3 of that recipe. So you can think about that as 1/3 of 3/4 or 1/3 times 3/4. You could also reverse those too. Community property allows us to do that. We can divide by 3 here, divide by 3 here. We got on top, we got 1 times 1 is 1. On the bottom, we got 1 times 4 is 4. This is 1/4 cup butter. Or as the French would say, butter. Actually, I just made that up. All right, let's see. Problem 13. We have bottle pop has 2/3 of the daily recommended amount of sugar. If you were to drink 1/6 of that, about how much of the daily recommended sugar would you have? Well, too much. Wait, was that out loud? Sorry. Let's divide by 2 here, going across. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 6 divided by 2 is 3. Multiply straight across. We've got 1/9 of the daily rec amount of sugar. And yes, I can read my own writing. Most of the time.
All students need to be out of the building at this time. All students need to be out of the building at this time.
Okay, some of the time I can read my own. All right, let's cut to the chase. I can read it once in a while when it's fresh. Okay. Never. I can multiply mixed numbers without a calculator. All right, let's do this. So first of all, we have to make these into impropers. So 5 times 3 is 15 plus 1. We've got 16/3 times 2 times 8 is 16 plus 3 is 19/8. Looking diagonally, we can't do anything with 3 and 19, but we can divide by 8 here. 8 divided by 8 is 1. 16 divided by 8 is 2. So that's going to make it a little bit easier. 2 times 19 would be 38. 3 times 1 is 3, so 38 divided by 3. Well, I could put it in there 10 times. That would be 30. We've got 8 left. I could put it in there 2 more times. 2 3s is 6. So we have a remainder of 2. So here's your answer. 10 plus 2 is we have 12 and 2 parts out of 3. All right, 1 7/9 times 2 and 5/6. 1 times 9 is 9, plus 7 makes it 16/7. And, 16/9. Sorry about that. And then we've got 2 times 6 is 12, plus 3, we've got 15/6. Okay, well, we can divide these dudes both by 3. So 9 divided by 3 is 3. 15 divided by 3 is 5. 16 divided by 2 is 8. 6 divided by 2 is 3. See, I divide both these here by 2, here by 3. So 8 times 5 is 40. 3 times 3 is 9. So we have 40/9. Divide that out. You know what? I'll just divide this one out the other way just so you know that I can divide both ways. 40 divided by 9. Well, the problem is 9 doesn't go into 4, so you're really trying to figure out how many times it goes in there. It's great if you know the basic fact that 4 times 9 is 36. But if not, that's why I use that other method. You can take out smaller groups. 40 minus 36 is 4. So our answer is 4 and 4/9. 4 and 4/9. This method of division does work with decimals. Okay, just 2 problems left and a couple of stupid comments, and you're on your way. Geologists had 2 rocks on a scale that weighed 2.5 pounds together. Rock A was 1/5 of the total weight. How much did rock A weigh? So it's going to be 2.5 times 1/5. So we can rewrite that as an improper fraction. 2 times 2 is 4 plus 1. So this would be 5/2 as an improper times 1/5. Well, to divide by 5, that's an easy one. And we just multiply across. We got 1 on the top, 2 on the bottom. That's 1/2 pound. That's pretty simple. All right, last one. Batch of chicken. We got 3 1/3 cups of chicken. of flour required. And if they're going to make 43 3/7 batches, holy Hannah. I'm going to sharpen up the old pencil on this one. All right, improper fractions. 3 times 3 is 3. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 1 is 10/3, times 43 times 7. Here's 43 times 7. 7 times 3 is 21. There's 1, there's 2. 4 times 7 is 28, plus 2 is 30. So we have 301, plus the 3 makes it 304/7. 3 plus 4 is 7, so 3, that's not a multiple of 3, so 3 is not going to go in there. 10 and 7 don't share any common factors, so we have to multiply these dudes across. 10 times 304, we can just add a 0 and make that 3,040 on top. And we've got 3 times 7, we've got 21 at the bottom. So we're going to do some division work here. And, you know, again, I'm going to use this method because I think it'll be easiest for most of you to do. 3,040 divided by 21. I'm going to put in 100 groups. If I put in 100, it's just 21 times 1, which is 21. Then I add the 2 zeros. So when I subtract that out, I've taken 100 groups out. 0, 4 minus 0 is 4. 10 minus 1 is 9. I got 940 left. Well, let me see. What if I put in 50 groups? 50 groups would be half of that, which would be still more than 1,000. So that's not going to work. How about if I put in, let's say, 10 groups? Well, 10 groups would be 210, and I could do that. 4 minus 1 is 3. And I could do that a number of times, but if that's 10 groups, couldn't I put in 20 groups and make that double that? Or 30 groups and make it triple that, which would be 630. Yeah, that worked out okay. So 730 minus 630, well, that's 100. And let's see, I could probably put about 4 21s in there. 4 times 21 would be 84. If I subtract that, we've got 6 here. We've got 9 minus 8 is 16 left over. So it looks like we have 110 plus 30 would be 144. 144. And then we've got 16 over 21 remaining. And if we just think about that, this is in cups of flour too. Okay, just kind of think about this here. You could check your answer by doing 144 times 21 and then adding in the 16. I paused the video and did do that, so I know I'm correct. And the other thing you can do is this in simplest form? Well, you have to think about 16. 16 has these factors: 1, 16, 2, 8, 4, and 4. Well, none of these even ones are going to go into 21. So this guy is in simplest form right here. All right, thanks for listening and good luck on the test. Peace out.